Hi, my name is Eric Edwards, and we have just opened a new office here in Swansboro at 748 West Corbett Avenue. It's Unit 1, and the name of the business is CQUIC Insurance. And the CQUIC is an acronym for Coastal Quoting and Insurance Counseling. I'm a third generation agent here in coastal North Carolina, especially Carteret County, Emerald Isle, Salter Path, Indian Beach, Atlantic Beach, all points in between, out to Beaufort, Morehead City, Jacksonville, Swansboro, Hubert. Um, these are the areas I've written in the most in my 16 years as being an agent. I was formerly with Emerald Isle Realty from 2008 to 2021. So I know a lot of people that I've written coverage for in the area. Had a very wonderful relationship with, and I just look forward to writing coverage, quoting, and even if I don't get your business, um, a lot of it is, just kind of talking through the policy. I feel like I'm very well versed in the ins and outs of the policy, and I think that would be very helpful to a lot of clients. Just have someone that knows the policy and is able to guide them through it. Talk about the nuances. I know there's a lot of concerns here on the coastal area, but just because of the unique things that are in the policy and not in the policy. I know a lot of people, your homeowner's policy is separate from your wind and hail, which again is separate from your flood. Um, and here at CQUIC, we're writing all three. We're writing a personal auto, we're writing boats, commercial lines. If you have a business in the area, we'd love to quote or talk to you about your policies and just try to, I know right now the prices are extremely high. But the biggest thing is just making sure that you have the coverages you need. We don't want any gaps in any coverages in any places that you may be susceptible. Going over the policies, making sure that you do have everything buttoned up and covered, because we don't want anything to happen to you. You've made a huge investment in your property or your business, and we absolutely don't want you to not have covered a base and something arise that ends up coming out of your pocket. Uh, that's exactly what insurance is all about. Uh, Even though it is expensive, and I completely understand that. As someone who lives in the area, I personally know how devastating it is. And as an agent, independent insurance agent, it's not up to us agents what the prices are. That's all set outside of our control. But the biggest thing is giving us the ability to work with you and look at different companies and trying to find the best avenue for your particular need. And I just kind of wanted to segue to a kind of important issue that I think is extremely paramount right now, and that is a lot of people may be aware or may not be aware that the rebuild value for homes in particular is really expensive. In the past, maybe 5 years ago, it may have been $150 per heated square foot to rebuild the house. Today, going by the many contractors I've spoken with, on the low end, it's $250 per heated square foot. And then, of course, that goes up depending on the amount of specialty items you may have in the home, the trim work, the flooring may be hardwood, the cabinetry may be very opulent, the countertops may be granite or marble. So I mean, obviously these numbers move, but the low end is $250 per heated square foot. So even if you have a relatively simply built home, and obviously this doesn't pertain to mobile homes or manufactured. This is just stick-built homes. If you have 1,000 square foot home, right now 250,000 would be the suggested value. Um, just having said that, it's kind of again, look at your policy. Um, Take a look at everything. Make sure that you're aware of your heated square footage, and then make sure that the value on the policy, the dwelling value on your policy, is sufficient, because there are a lot of things at play here. One being, if you're underinsured, let's say you should be carrying 400,000 and you only are carrying 200,000 on your dwelling. That can create a couple of problems. One, if you have a total loss, covered peril, say the house catches on fire and it's a complete loss. Your house is worth 400,000, and you're only carrying 200,000. So I mean, that's a huge gap with what could be to rebuild your house versus what you're actually going to end up with. So that's a scary thought, and it is for me. I know it is for everyone out there. So make sure you're talking to your agent, and certainly if there's anything I can do, I would be more than happy to do that for you. In the body of this, there will be a link to the website, a link to the Facebook page for the business, and also the address and phone numbers, and even my cell phone number and my personal email address. So I just, above all, I just want to make sure that we can open a dialogue and get everything kind of buttoned down for you. And yes, I'd love to quote your business, but more importantly, I just want to make sure that you have what you need. The second part of the underinsured. So if you need to be carrying 400 and you only carry 200, there is something in the provisions of the policies known as a co-insurance penalty. So let's say, again, in this situation, you should be carrying 400,000, but you're only carrying 200. This can be, you can be susceptible to the co-insurance penalty. In other words, you're only carrying 50% of what you should be carrying. So at the time of a loss, for a covered peril, let's say you have a plumbing leak in the home, and that's covered under the homeowner's policy, and the loss you sustain is $50,000. The insurance company can come in and say, hey, you have a $50,000 loss. However, due to the co-insurance penalty, you are only carrying 50% of what you should be carrying. So you have the 400,000 that you should be carrying on your dwelling, but you're only insured on the policy at 200,000. So that 50% ratio, they're going to apply to the claim dollar amount. So if you had a $50,000 loss, the company's only going to pay 50% of that loss. So now, instead of having the complete $50,000 to correct the problem, of course, minus the deductible you have on your policy, you're only going to get 25% of that. 50%. So you're going to get $25,000. Now that's a huge gap in your damage versus what you're going to get from the insurance company. So these are things that are extremely important, an extremely important reason as to why we want to make sure that your dwelling amount on your policy is exactly what it is, close to exact as we can for the true rebuild value. And now I just want to go into talking about we are entering peak hurricane season. So some things we need to think about and talk about here is once we see these storms forming, and everybody's looking and waiting to see what they're going to do, what the storm's going to do. It is very important to know that when the storms are forming and they get a name and they start predicting their trajectory, if it's going to impact North Carolina in any way, the companies will put up what's called a moratorium. They will effectively say, that's it. We're not writing any new business. We're not changing any coverages. no amendments to the deductible. So basically, once a storm gets close enough, the companies will start pulling all avenues for you to change your coverage. So just keep that in mind. And right now we have Tropical Storm or Hurricane Debbie. A lot of companies are going to start this moratorium. And when this begins, just keep in mind, if you call your agency and say, hey, I think I'm underinsured, I need to bump that up, there may be a moratorium, and your agent may say, yeah, we can't make any changes right now because, the companies have stopped writing, stopped changing, stopped everything because that's just their prerogative to do. Because as you can imagine, a lot of people, once they see a hurricane moving into their area or a tropical storm, they're going to want to all of a sudden call the insurance company. I mean, it's normal, but just something to keep in mind that that's something you run up against. So making sure you have the right coverages in the beginning or throughout the policy term, just making sure you have it, because as we get into hurricane season, these things, they get really tricky and kind of scary, because you all of a sudden you're looking at your policy going, oh my God, I don't think I have what I need here, or my coverage may be a little low. Let me try to bump that up. Call your agency, and the companies have already said, nope, we're done until this passes. So that's just a big issue that I think people should understand about their policies. Is to make sure we get it right in the beginning, so that when the hurricanes are coming, you feel confident in what you have. Also into that, I wanted to move into flood. Some people will see, like right now, you may or may not have flood coverage. If you see a storm coming and the prediction is this is going to be a terrible storm, there's going to be a lot of flooding, just keep in mind that if you're not being, there is a 30-day wait. So if you call your insurance company, you see a hurricane or you see a storm coming, and you say, oh, I need to buy flood insurance, and you call your company and you say, well, I need to go ahead and buy flood coverage. It's getting a little scary to me. The tropics look active, and I'm nervous that we're going to have a storm. What will happen is, from the day you make your payment to the flood company, there is a 30-day waiting period. So if you pay today, August the 5th, your policy is not going to actually go into effect until 30 days after that, so September 5th. So if you have a storm in that 30-day window that causes flooding, it's just not going to be covered. So just a very important thing to think of. If you're, you've made a big investment here on the coast buying property. If you, just to make sure, you're completely covered, just something I want you to keep in mind, that flood is it's a federal program. There are some private markets, but typically all of these are going to adhere to that, and they're going to give a 30-day waiting period. So just be very cognizant of that. You see something coming, you call your insurance agency, say, I need flood. You just know it's a 30-day wait. And if the storm's close enough where impact is probably imminent, or some form of impact is imminent, the companies are going to issue that moratorium, so there's no changes. So those are just some things I wanted to kind of put forward to you to think about. And again, just to introduce myself, we are just opened this agency. Actually, today is the first day, August 5th, that we are open to the public, accepting phone calls, doing quotes. We have all our businesses up and running, management systems up and running. So I will leave details below as to how to get in touch with us. If you need a quote, if you need to shop your coverage, or whatever it is you need to do, just questions. I'll be more than happy to assist with that. Like I say, again, even if I don't get your business, that was just something I wanted to do, is make sure I could, for the community, if I can do nothing else, just kind of counsel customers on the ins and outs of the insurance policies, just to make sure that we all, we like I say, we've made a big investment here, And I just want to make sure you're protected. And again, my name is Eric Edwards, and the name of our business here is CQUIC Insurance. So please check us out. Give us a call if there's anything we can do. If we can quote anything for you, we would love to do so. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.